Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Inside Sales by Design video blog. I hope everybody's having a really great day and approach for the week. Wanted to circle back, and today we're going to talk about the number one thing leaders give up. The number one luxury we as leaders give up. And that is our luxury of reaction. Here's what I mean. There's a difference between a reaction and a response. Here's an example. Our son is 5, and about a year ago, so he would have been 4, we were at Costco. It was he and I, and we were checking out, and he's sitting in the cart, and he's facing me, and he's looking over my shoulder, and I notice he's got this little fuzz in his eye. And without saying a word, I lean down and I'm going to be a mom, and I'm just going to help him and get this fuzz out of his eye. And without batting an eye, he doesn't even turn. He is looking over my shoulder. My finger comes to his eye, and what does he do? He kicks me. It was the definition of a knee-jerk reaction. And I just went, oh! I have an option here. I can choose to react to that and discipline my child for hitting, which we do. However, in this case, I was wrong. I didn't give him any heads up. I had simply put my finger in his eye. I didn't talk with him. I didn't verbally communicate. I did nothing. And so Gabe, our son at the age of 4, reacted because he didn't like his invasion of space. So I had an option. I could choose to react and be angry and shut him down, or I can say, gosh, I'm really sorry. I didn't ask your permission, and did I need to ask you, Gabe? I'm my apologies. And he looked at me and he went, yeah, give me a heads up. So in that moment, I had the choice. I had the choice to demonstrate a reaction, or I had the option to respond in an angry parent way. Our challenge as leaders is to find a way to respond instead of react. So when employees come into our office and say, I quit, or I want to go to a different department, or these leads suck, or I'm having a trouble with this employee, or I want more money, or hey, things are going really great. What if we did X, right? And you've got folks on your team that bring really great ideas. Our challenge as leaders is to figure out how to build up a bevy of responses instead of a reaction. So that when somebody says, hey, I quit, we don't spend our day stuck in a cycle of, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Right? I'm not saying we do that, and I'm not saying it's always bad. What I am saying is, for some of these things that, we compartmentalize, and we talk a lot about compartmentalize here at Inside Sales by Design. And there's things that are easily taken care of, and there's things that aren't. And so what we want to be able to do by having our cadre of responses is to be able to put ourselves in a spot as a leader that we can say, wow, that's really interesting. Give me just a minute to think about it. So our goal moving forward, if you haven't already as a leader, my suggestion for you would be to sit down. Number one, kind of do a self-assessment on yourself. Are you a leader that reacts? You get some data and the numbers aren't good, so I'm going to go and kick some butt? Or are you a leader that goes, that's interesting. Can you tell me more about those numbers? So number one, do some self-assessment. Are you a leader that's responding, or are you a leader that is kind of doing a knee-jerk reaction and kicking your mom when she's trying to help you? Secondly, after you kind of do a pretty serious and not serious but honest self-assessment, look at that and go, okay, what scenarios do I need to kind of focus on? Or are there scenarios that I can learn from? So the second step is to really kind of sit down and start writing out some of those scenarios. Again, don't really care what medium you use. It might be an Excel sheet, it might be note cards, it might be a OneNote, it might be whatever that says, at this time I had an employee do X, or my management did Y, or my executive, my CEO changed direction midstream in a campaign for these reasons. How did I respond to that, or did I react to that? And if I reacted to it, what would I do differently, right? Let's learn and leverage the power of hindsight. Thirdly, going forward is start schooling yourself on really having that sense of self-awareness that says, man, am I having a good day, bad day? Mondays, everybody's sometimes pretty intense, right? The closer the weekend gets, or the closer somebody gets to vacation, the less stressed out they are. So we need to be really aware of our own selves, our own barometers, our own tanks. And then number two is we need to sit down and develop and build out, I've got a Bible of responses at this point. Because I know if this happens, this needs to be my response. I know if this happens, this needs to be my response. And folks, for those of us that have been doing this a while, sometimes our first response is the best one, right? But we should still give ourselves the opportunity to practice and go, you know what? That's a really interesting thought, problem, solution, idea. Let me think about it for a minute. In the meantime, can we do X, right? Like literally give yourself those Mad Libs to fill in. So, because again, as a leader, we lose the luxury of reacting and need to be very, very good at learning how to respond. So, hope that helps. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next time. Have a good one.